70 to 80% of your immune system resides in the gut. And the separation between these bacteria and your immune system is literally razor thin. It's one cell layer thick. So anytime we introduce any substance, food, bacteria into our body that is pro-inflammatory then and not protective, there is an opportunity to breach that thin layer of protection that is the gut barrier between your microbiome and your immune system, and then all hell breaks loose, for lack of better words.
Okay, so you said something, this when we introduce things that are inflammatory, what are some of those things that we're introducing in our daily practice that we may not even know is inflammatory?
Okay. Have you walked in a store to get a snack or a grocery store and looked at the food labels on the back? Okay.
Yes.
Instead of looking like real food that you and I would prepare in the kitchen, it looks like a science experiment.
Yes.
Honestly. There's all these food additives, there's products that we don't recognize, and then if you keep reading the fine print, it gets even scarier. And it says that this food has been processed using a bioengineering technique. Like, what's that? So our bodies, instead of receiving like the natural foods and plants that have microbiomes and antioxidants and help us fight cancer and, help keep that gut integrity in place, we are introducing substances into our body that we don't even know what it is, and neither do the bacteria. And so instead of nourishing the good bacteria that help us to win, we are allowing the pathogenic bacteria to take over our bodies. And that is the basic premise as to what's happening there.
So is this GMOs? These are the fake foods, the ultra-processed foods. These are like household products. These are things that we put on our body.
These are things that are, at this point, they're normal to us. I remember going to a restaurant. I went to a restaurant with my husband, and I was like, this food, these vegetables, they are so good. They're so good. I promise you, 10 minutes later, I was in the bathroom vomiting.
Oh, my goodness.
I was throwing up. And I went back and I said, did you have MSG in there? Because I'm very sensitive to MSG. And they said, yes. So all of these like flavor enhancers that we're using, all of these emulsifiers, those are like the thickeners for like ranch dressing, for example, the sauces that we enjoy. People have signature sauce that makes the food taste delicious.
So is that like soy lecithin? Is that
soy lecithin is absolutely an emulsifier. And in the studies where they try to manipulate the microbiome, these diet microbiome interactions in patients that have like Crohn's disease, that is one of the earliest items that they recommend that you remove. Remove the emulsifiers. Remove the food additives, these thickeners. We don't know what to do with them. They are not nature's own.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to talk about the food, right? Because I think that's such a key player in our gut microbiome, right? So this is, if we're sticking to a very anti-inflammatory diet, right, what would that really consist of to have optimal gut health?
So there is a nice study that was done in over 40 different countries, which is the American Gut Project. And in that American Gut Project, what they realized was that you needed at least 30 different plant-based foods per week to improve your microbial gut diversity. And why is that important? Microbial gut diversity and chronic disease has been shown to be decreased. Microbial gut diversity has been shown to be increased in those that live a long life. So in those people that consume more than 30 different plants per week, they had better microbial gut diversity as opposed to those that did not. And so when we say 30 different plants, people are like, oh my God, like 30 plants, that's a lot. But everything counts. So your herbs, your spices, you want to get in those prebiotic foods, which I know we'll get into. But those foods that are prebiotics, those are your fibrous foods. These contain substances called inulin, pectin, and resistant starches. So pectin, those are things like apples. We have resistant starches in our white potatoes, as long as you don't bake them. If you actually cool them, that little sticky film that's on there is actually healthy for you. Your leafy green vegetables, spinach, your cruciferous vegetables, all of those plants, onions, leeks, legumes, all of those plant-based items are the prebiotics, and those are what contribute to the gut diversity, because what they do is they promote your healthy bacteria to grow. You also need fermented foods. So there was a nice study out of Stanford looking at microbial diversity, and those that consume fermented foods had greater microbial gut diversity. So diversity matters.
So that would be like kimchi or pickles.
Yes.
For instance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be careful with some of the pickles because they have to. Everything. You just need to read labels, because if they're adding a ton, then no. But it is the fermentation process that is very helpful for the body, and so apple cider vinegar is fermented. So vinegars are fermented. Kimchi, kombucha, those are all fermented as well. Sourdough bread goes through a fermentation process that allows you to better sort of process that. So if you're looking at, which bread should I consume, that's probably a better one.
I mean, everybody is on the Instagram and TikTok, girl, with a sourdough. Everybody got a sourdough bread recipe.
I know.
Sourdough era.
And they're not all created equal either. But yeah, I know. We have seen quite the surge in non-medical gut health experts, and it's because they did a study and found that about 2/3 of Americans experience recurrent gut issues. So people want a quick fix. They want a quick gut hack, and they don't want the truth, which is that we need to fix the underlying food supply chain. We need to fix our source of energy. The body is a machine and the gut is the engine. And so unless we keep that engine nice and fueled with the right type of fuel, then we're not going to feel well. We're going to experience bloating and all of these other symptoms.
I want you to get into this because women and GI issues. Women experience functional GI symptoms such as irritable bowel syndrome at higher rates. 46% of women experience GI issues. So this is almost half of the women in this country are experiencing intestinal issues.
Absolutely. So I'm assuming that you want to get into the why of why this is happening.
Why
are we?
I didn't just bring you here for this crushed velvet. This
right. Right.
Hey, Vault family, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, make sure to check out our full interview on our channel at Vault Empowers Talks. We don't just scratch the surface. We dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential leaders and change makers. Don't forget to like, to comment, and be sure to subscribe for more inspiring conversations. See you next time.